Nonstop News starts with a live look at Storm Tracker out on I-25 heading south right around Santa Fe. Snow getting much heavier across the metro area. The roads are wet. The snow really starting to stack up in some spots. And the snow's even heavier up in the high country. Visibility low as these snow plows are working hard to clean I-70 during this heavy snowfall. All that snow leading to some breaking news as well. An avalanche along US 40 closing Berthoud Pass just about 2 hours ago. The State Patrol confirming multiple vehicles were trapped in that slide. There are no reports of any injuries yet. CDOT says they don't know how long it will take to get the road open. We have team coverage of this weather alert. Kirsten Horn and Major King out in the snow. Jason Luber, of course, keeping a watch on traffic. But let's start with meteorologist Matt Makins. That heavy snow creating some dangerous conditions in the high country, Matt.
And down here now as well, Teresa. Take a look at the radar. The center of the system, tons of moisture up above us. The center of it is sliding out of Denver down towards the south and east, where there's actually thunder, snow, and heavy rains between Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Right here for the Front Range. Looking at Denver, the radar sweeping around, still dealing with a mix of rain and snow off to the east of I-25. To the west, though, that's where the heavier pockets of snow have been. And this continues across northeastern Colorado. It's all sliding out towards Burlington at this hour. Heaviest snow in the Denver metro area, south side. In Douglas County, see some bands of heavy snow of C-470 and I-25 very close to Park Meadows. The hospital's right about here. You go down into Castle Rock. We've had some good reports of 3 to 5 inches up on Castle Pines and Surrey Ridge, up on the ridge there. Roxborough up towards Genesee, also some pockets of heavier snow here. Pulling out just a little bit up towards Longmont, Berthoud, Boulder, Brighton. Still some pockets of heavier snow, but you move north of there, and there's some drier air already starting to work in. So lesser of a chance for rain or snow in and around Wellington, Fort Collins, down toward Greeley. But again, for the Denver metro area, we've got another couple of hours of this until about 7 o'clock. But it's depending on where you are, like Anna Karina pointed out, you could drive through rain, then you could drive through snow, as she pointed out on a Facebook picture here. But we have this heavy, wet snow coming down. Good example from Gem Car, Colorado, near Sloan's Lake. Thick, wet flakes. And this is what's contributing to a lot of the travel problems we have across the city. Not really building up on the roads just yet, but Kirsten Horn was tweeting out how slow the drive was down to Castle Rock just about an hour ago. Let's get the very latest on her drive there and what conditions are like.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, down here in Castle Pines this evening, and I'll tell you there was a big difference just from driving in Denver about 15 miles south this direction. We just kept seeing more snow accumulation outside, and definitely here seeing several inches. We were getting reports of 3 inches about an hour and a half ago. Probably have seen much more than that now just within the past hour or two. So definitely seeing more snow a little bit further south. It's a completely different story. I want to talk a little bit too about the roads. You can see back behind me the cars are moving pretty well. They're a little slow, though. Really, a lot of stop-and-go traffic is what we were dealing with. And we really weren't coming across any big ice patches. So as far as the ice and the snowpack on the roadways, we weren't dealing with much of that as we were heading down here. But again, it was just slow, which is probably good. If you're headed out, you probably should take it slow. It's a good thing to do that. Just wet roads and some reduced visibility as well with the snowfall as we were heading on out. So to get even further in depth with traffic, let's go ahead and send it in now to Jason.
Yeah, very heavy stop-and-go traffic here, as you were talking about. Most of the slushy conditions that you were talking about are really confined to the side streets, the neighborhood routes, that sort of thing. The highways are basically wet at this point, with some of the heaviest traffic going to be on that I-25 drive all the way, especially from the Denver Tech Center, heading north into downtown Denver. These are some of the commute times from Arapahoe to Colfax, about 50 minutes, so about an hour on that drive, and it continues to run about a half an hour on the southbound side. So maybe not as bad as you might think. Aurora is on accident alert. They have about half a dozen or so accidents with some slower traffic, especially through that construction zone. And then I-70 has been really tough with several accidents earlier this afternoon. And you can see some of those travel times in that half an hour range getting across I-70. It's not as bad as you might think along Highway 36. We're looking at, look at this. You can see just wet roadways coming here at Foothills, and then farther north up here at Loveland at First and Taft. Teresa, it's just basically wet again. So depending on how much snow we're seeing in the metro area, we're going to see some slushy roads, mainly side streets, highways wet and slow, obviously, as the rush hour continues on.
All right, Jason, as you sit in that traffic, imagine this. All this snow has been very good for our ski resorts. This video from A Basin earlier today, snow already falling at that point. The snow starting much earlier as well in northern Colorado. 7 News reporter and photojournalist Major King live in Fort Collins with a look at the conditions there. Hi, Major.
Hey, Teresa, how you doing? I'm not sure what to call this stuff, whether it's rain or snow or what. It started coming down around sunrise this morning. By 9 o'clock, we definitely had big, fat, wet flakes, and that was just enough to make folks just a little bit grumpy.
It's the end.
Make it stop. I wish that I could. The moisture today brought out the umbrellas, and the snow was just enough to white the grass in Old Town Square at Oak Street Plaza and bring out the snow plows. But there just wasn't enough to plow. Just a good day for rain boots and a walk with Mom. Now, the oval over at CSU just barely got white in the grass for students between classes. I almost gave it that Ivy League feel, raw weather. But a little higher up at Horsetooth Reservoir, several inches fell. It's been a wet week in Fort Collins. About an inch of moisture has fallen in the past few days, most of that in the form of rain. And our snowfall stands at just about average, around 38 inches for the season. Only 17 more inches to go on average, and we'll be done for the year. So we're just back here at CSU at the Moby Gym waiting for the CSU women's basketball game tonight against Wyoming. And come rain or snow or shine, we'll have some highlights for you with Aaron Anderson tonight at 10 o'clock. Reporting live at CSU campus in Fort Collins, Major King, 7 News.
Sounds good. Go Rams. All right, we want to see your pictures and your video of all this snow. In fact, anything. So if you see something that you want to share with us and all of you viewers out there, just send it to us on that Tell 7 News menu on your 7 News app.